need you to be accountable. We need you to be accountable. And there is the tolerance is low here. This movement that's happening will no longer tolerate the unaccountability of our elected officials. Additionally, being a black woman, this blue line, we need you to, if you can't, let me put it this way, if you have to succumb to that in order to be the police chief for the city of Dallas, we need someone else. We need someone else. And so we want to support you, but we need you to be accountable for why you did what you did in this case. This is not going to be swept under the rug. As you can see, there's too much hurt and fear and frustration in the community because of this specific case. And so we need answers. And so a statement or something needs to happen in order for us to better understand why you did what you did, why you handled this in the way in which you did, because it's unacceptable. We expect more from you as a black woman who went to an HBCU, coming from Detroit. We expect more from you. This was a case that could have defined your tendency as the police chief, first black female police chief, and you know, made national headlines in a positive way. We were all behind you and ready to help make that happen for you. We need you to help us understand why you handled the case in the way in which you did. Secondly, regarding Amber Geiger, however you pronounce her last name, it is unacceptable that she is still on the payroll. As a tax-paying citizen in the county of Dallas, I will be damned if I pay this child's salary who murdered a man. Now, I'm not here to you know, dispute the facts of the case and to try her in public court. I ain't here to do all that. But what I am here to say is that you gotta do better, homegirl. You gotta do better. And that is unacceptable. So the community, please, if you're watching this or viewing this tape, the community is asking you to come forward and make a statement as to why you handed this over to the Texas Rangers, as to why this woman is still on the payroll, and we need to understand how you feel and what you could have done from your perspective to make this have been a better outcome. So we demand that as the community, and we need to hear from you.
Let me ask you a question. If I told you that handing the case over to the Texas Rangers is not part of
Protocol.
Civilian or officer involved shooting protocols, what would you say to Chief Hall?
I would.
Because that's a fact.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why we need her to elaborate on why she did that, because it wasn't her trying to be transparent and having another organization handle it, because there has been no transparency,
right,
even with the Texas Rangers. You know, so she's got to do better than that. You know, you've got an informed public here, Chief Hall, and so we know it's not right. We need you to help us understand why you didn't follow protocol, and then you need to be held accountable for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we want to, before I allow Yafael to take the mic, we want to make sure that we don't holler out and scream out, that if we have something to say, that we take the mic, because we want everybody's comments to be heard.
How's everybody doing today? Speaking to the mic. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing today? All right, that's good, that's good. Let me just say, I've been a part of this process for a number of years, and I'm very motivated to see you all here together. and we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about contradictions that exist in the community. I remember from doing research and being around older men like Fahim Minka and Marvin Crenshaw and guys like that who was talking about police brutality back in the 80s, specifically 1983, 1987, and I'm sure a lot of the longtime activists in the room remember when Santos Rodriguez was murdered in 1973 by Officer Darrell Kane. Yes. So it's been a very, very long process to try to bring about justice here in this city, the city in which some would say that the civil rights era missed, but I beg to differ. There was a number of people in grassroots eras like Ernest McMillan who was organizing. I think in this current situation, you know, I really have a critique of us as in terms of organizers. I'll deal with Chief Hall in a second. I think us as organizers, a number of groups, organizations, et cetera, so on and so forth, we could be a lot powerful. We could be more powerful if we create agendas and work collectively together. We've been working on this issue. I know Dallas Community Organizers for Change and other groups have been working around this issue since 2011. I know that we filed a federal complaint against the city in 2014. I know we issued what we call the History of Violence, which talks about 10 years of police brutality, which we say truly is a euphemism for police terrorism in that same year. We have been out in the streets in every way, shape, or form to try to get this information to the community so that they be informed. Our whole position is this. Our position is that we want people to understand the contradiction that exists. So a lot of people can see it now. They can see that what's going on here in the city and it is wrong. You can see it. We may not be able to, everybody's not able to articulate it, everybody's not able to mobilize 200 people behind them to march in the streets, and so forth, but everybody can understand it is wrong. I think that's what brought us here in the room. My personal critique of the chief is just like all the other chiefs. Terrell Bolton, you name them. I remember Terrell Bolton. I remember as a little child, as a little boy, a lot of us was enthused by Terrell Bolton because he was a black chief. A lot of us was enthused by that. We said, we got a black chief. And we can see here today how far just having an African American in the position, a black chief, or whatever you want to define that person as, how far that takes us. That doesn't take us too far. The foundation of this city is not set to represent the southern sector. It's not set to represent the poor, oppressed masses of people. It's not set up that way. It's set up to benefit the few. It's set up to benefit the few. So people like Botham, like Tobias Mackey, like James Harper in South Dallas and Dixon, they get swept under the rug. You don't even hear about James Harper no more. That happened, if my memory serves me correct, July 24, 2012. I was out there. We were strong out there. Oh, yeah. AR-15s. AR-15s. All types of weapons. Chest rigs. All types of weapons. Had vehicles lining RB Color up and down the street. Had the whole street shut off. Some kind of way I managed to get back through that though. Some kind of way I managed to get back through that though. But I saw what time it was.
Ask me, I know how you got it. The police escorted us in.
No, they escorted me in.
No, they escorted
yeah. But I get what you said. They escorted me in. But just want to make that disclaimer. But I just want to say is that the power is in the hands of you. We can define our destiny right now. We can define the destiny. We have the power to bring back a true bill. I like to see more people in the streets. I like the fact that people in the streets. I like the fact that people are working around the issues of policy, talking about the Severe Review Board. I like that. I like the people talking about training, things of this nature. That's gonna bring about an opportunity for people to have more power, so that we can hold these officers accountable. Wouldn't you like a situation here in this city where you actually can be able to hold officers accountable?
Right.
Isn't that the idea? We're in this room right now because as it stands right now, structurally, there's limited opportunities for justice. They thought that they were going to satisfy those of us in the police brutality movement sometime about a month ago with the conviction of Roy Oliver. They thought they was going to satisfy us. They thought they was going to keep us quiet. But the contradiction is still there. We got police brutality and the murder of black people here in this city. Now, they did a good job somewhere around the time of July 7th of 2016. They did a good job. They told the world that Dallas has a model police department. That's what they told the world. They had activists like myself and John Fullenwager and folks like that trying to figure out how to, get the proper information out and make sure that people understand that we've had over 40 individuals or more individuals over the past 10 or more years murdered by Dallas Police Department. We tried. Their propaganda for that moment worked. But this is what I know. You here are very educated group of people, very understanding group of people, and you know what's going on. I know my brother, Darrell Burnham, has been in the streets. He's been in the streets like every day. He can't stop being in the streets. He been there boxing me talking about let's get in the streets because the streets are where the people at. And when we have the opportunity to inform these people who normally wouldn't have the information, then we become powerful. And so that's what the purpose of this meeting is about. The meeting is about consolidating power and you understanding that we have the ability to hold those in administrative position. We can hold them accountable. We want to hold our officials accountable. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Don't you want to hold them accountable?
Yeah.
Right, that's why we're here. Because our tax dollars, unfortunately, pay